Hi, Lady Jin here. Welcome to Intimacy Talk Live. This week, the topic is female orgasms. It's a scientific and mysterious topic. Together, my co-host Iryna will join me in a few minutes, and we're going to share our own experience and what I've learned in our professional training, as well as what I've learned from working with clients. It's going to be a very juicy topic, and whoever is going to join soon and raise your questions. And also, this recording will be available on IGTV as well as YouTube. To watch previous recordings, you can search my handle, I am Lady Jin, and then you can watch the past recordings on male sexuality and female sexuality. All right. So why we have this call? Both Iryna and I are professionally trained sex, love, and relationship coach. And this work we are doing now is mostly based on own transformation as well as our passion. Our passion and our transformation led us to switch career and do the work we're doing now. So this is really from our bottom of our heart that want to share more knowledge and tip and what I've learned through our journey. Okay, so Iryna is joining me. We'll have her very soon. Hi.
Hello.
Hey. Welcome to this week. I just introduced us why we're having Intimacy Talk, the theory, and who we are, and what brought us to the Live Talk weekly. Basically, I shared we have passion and our own transformation in sexuality and love and relationships, and both of us are professionally trained. It's our passion to share our knowledge and tips and what we have learned from working with clients with broader audience. So here we are. Welcome to this week's Intimacy Talk Live. The topic is about female orgasms.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. Yeah, we've been studying this all about sexuality and intimacy and orgasms, all these other really intriguing topics extensively for a while, and now would love to, share it with others in the form of coaching or education. And this intimacy talks that we're doing every Thursday together, more of an educational nature. And because all the information we learned is based on holistic principles of Tantra, Tao, some science, of course. There's always science there present. We'd like to bring that to light and what life could be if we all related to sexuality and intimacy from a holistic point of view. So yeah, and all these topics are both for men and women. So if you're a woman, it will be for you, especially today's topic, the female orgasms. But also for men, it's very important for men to also learn and listen in and, take the tips and take the notes. what is it, this mystery of female orgasm?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Jin, do you want to kick us off and start
Yes.
with whatever that you want to start?
I feel no story is better than personal story. Okay, so
sure.
I'm going to share something that I have learned about female orgasm in my own transformation, in my own journey, and compare myself maybe 6-7 years ago versus now. And let's kick us off the discussion then, right? When I when I was started dating and had boyfriends, I would say orgasm was something always only happened in a limited time and venue topic, right? Mostly in the bedroom and for certain times, right? Was never a open discussion. And I remember my belief in the past was just, oh, I think I can reach orgasm. Okay, check, box checked. And there are two types I was familiar with, clitoral and vaginal, right? It seems both okay, work for me. That's it, right? Then I remember I did not have much curiosity about what else is there. What else is there? And I also remember that at that time, my concept, although I have been living in the States for quite a long time, but I grew up in China and moved to the States. But even that, I still notice that I have a big belief that, oh, I feel man needs to take the lead. My partner needs to take the lead and lead me to explore more, right? Just give me something new, right? Now I realize, now what I'm doing now, I definitely realize that is not a great way to enrich the relationship. It's
Mhm.
added more pressure, even unspoken, add more pressure to my partner on top of many other social standards regarding male sexuality, right? So that was really not a great, I would say I had a pretty plain vanilla kind of experience. No complaints, but also I didn't feel like this is something I was very excited to explore more
Yeah.
until until I started my own journey to relate better with my body. And
What
the
was the triggering point? I'm curious for you to actually start exploring that sexuality arena.
yeah. Okay. So love to share with you. That was coming from a very raw and vulnerable place for me. About 6 years ago, about 5, 6 years ago, I had a major breakup in, probably the most heartbroken one in my life.
Mhm.
And at that time, everything in my own limiting belief were magnified. Everything I believe that I really want to count on a partner to provide, to give, not provide in a financial perspective, but from an emotional perspective, and also from sexual, erotic perspective, everything collapsed. Everything collapsed. And I truly realized the inner yearning that, oh, I really want to have more pleasure and joy and fulfillment in my life.
Yeah.
But someone I really hoped and counted as a great partner to provide and work together with me was no longer there. And it feels like for me is I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to start the journey by myself without delay.
Mm.
That's kind of like my ego get hurt. Really, the first point was coming from the ego. Like, oh my God, I cannot stand myself anymore like that. But through the journey, my ego factor went down and my self-love and
Yeah.
self-pleasure fulfillment factor went up.
And was it the time when you joined the what was the name? Your first school where you started learning all this is the pussy stroking practice school? Uh,
Yeah, and also the source school of
okay,
tantra is
got it.
on the neo tantra practice,
So for
right?
those who are listening and who are here, I see there are people in my audience. These are the schools. One of them is Jean studied with them. The oh my god, I am blanking
It's
out
called
on the name.
orgasmic meditation.
Orgasmic meditation school. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a fantastic school. I don't know if it still exists, but that's Jin's training, initial, the very first one, and the Source School of Tantra Yoga is something that was my initial training in Tantra and sexuality and Neo Tantra and all of this, holistic, esoteric practices. And then that's how we actually met each other and then continued our journey. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a few words in relation to me and how I kind of like the trigger point towards sexuality. Iryna is I was not experiencing. I was only experiencing literal orgasms. That is all. That is all I knew how to, squeeze one out or two or three with the help of vibrator. And when a man would go down on me, because that's the only way I could feel. And when it came to vaginal penetration from a man's with a man, I was like, it was so not pleasurable for me. It was painful. I was like, oh my God, can you please be done? And similarly with by myself, it was like I had no interest, or like I didn't feel anything down there, like inside. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's not for me. Up until there was still something that that always at the back of my mind, maybe my soul was like knocking on the door. It's like, hey, there's something more, there's something more, there's something deeper in when it comes to sex and intimacy, not just what you have, this mechanical movement. Yeah, and so that what inspired me, my curiosity, which is I'm so grateful for, my courage and curiosity, brought me to Source School of Tantra Yoga, and that's how everything began.
Yeah. Great.
So, orgasms.
And now, I mean, talking about now based on what I have known and also embodied. So this is very key in both of our coaching practice. Embodiment is a huge element, right? If we just know something, no orgasm, no sexuality, no liberation intellectually without embodying it, I don't really know it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So same for female orgasm. I not only discovered and embodied a lot more types of orgasm and enjoying them, but more importantly, that it has shifted my relationship with my body and my relationship with a partner, right? So how you bring myself, my pleasure together and play together. So that's very different than before that, oh, I feel my partner needs to be the one to guide, to lead, and supposed to know more than I do. And now I feel a lot more confident and also playful to add the two types.
Tell me about those types of orgasms. What are those for you?
You actually just asked me the right
we have a
point.
lot of
I'm
people
about
here,
to say it.
as I'm seeing in my audience who are watching, who are joined, who probably want to know more about like what are those types and how we can all get those, and what are the conditions that need to happen in order for all of us to orgasm like crazy.
Yeah. So aside of the two commonly known ones, right? There's cervical, their nipple and breast orgasm, and energetic orgasm, full body, and blended. Oh, let's not forget anal as well.
Yes. And
yeah.
the G-spot, we did we mention that?
What's that? G-spot. Oh no. Good catch. Yes.
So clitoral, G-spot, anal, cervical,
nipple,
breast,
yeah.
and energy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would say there's more. Because I really, I mean, what I have experienced and also learned now is it's about our connection to the to the contraction and to the waves of energy within. So any body part potentially can experience the sensation, right? But what we have named just now, or the common ones, I would say commonly identified by more and more people.
Yeah. So what I want to add to that, orgasm essentially, what that is for all of us, it's the contractions that are happening in some part of the body, and we are used to these contractions, both men or women, men in the penis and women in the clitoris, and this is it. And for many years, female orgasms was completely studied as male, like very direction oriented, very explosive, very like peaky, climactic, and that's it. And so women were conditioned to experience those only, and it was like, well, because everybody else in the society and culture and the science were not exploring anything else that is there in a woman's body. Now, only recently, I don't know how many years, the science started, paying attention and writing more about female orgasms. And yes, we have erogenous zones that are so, fully have more nerve endings than any other parts of our body, but we still can have orgasm on the neck or back or like here if you really train your body to be so.
Yeah.
And so orgasms will never come to you if you really reach for them. You're like, I want this orgasm, I want. And maybe you will eventually squeeze one out, but it's so not enjoyable and not satisfactory afterwards. It's like, and it's depleting. And even climactic clitoral orgasms for women can be depleting, energy depleting. Not always, but I even can say by myself, sometimes when I watch porn, I no longer do, but sometimes I do, and I like squeeze one out, I'm like, oi, I don't feel good afterwards. It's almost like when men reporting me, they do that and they ejaculate, I don't feel good afterward, I feel like drained.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so this is what orgasm is. And so in order for all of us humans and women predominantly to learn this orgasms, to train our body, because our bodies are trainable, even though women think that, oh, I'm asexual, I'm not, I cannot orgasm. Every woman can. There needs to be just curiosity and really, deeper knowing that it is possible, and it's possible. So there's 3 components that every woman needs to focus on. First is pleasure, second is expansion, and third is mind shift. Pleasure is when we experience pleasure in the body moment to moment, not running towards orgasm, but pleasure. That is the key component, the first key component to orgasms to arrive eventually. And that takes training, and that takes some also work on the belief systems, because we all think sexuality is dangerous, pleasure is dangerous. Oh my God, and your primal brain that is actually responsive for pleasure, for the sensations of pleasure arising in the body, will always try to save you, and because of the survival. Exactly.
It's designed to keep you safe.
Yeah. And so if you, as a woman, start actually identifying and spending time with your body, what does feel pleasurable to my body? What if I rub my nipples for 10 minutes and be really present? What can come out of this? Not really okay, there's a nipple orgasm, let me drive to that. No. So, and once you identify that pleasure and feel it, then you start expanding it throughout the whole body with the breath, with intention, with attention, with focus. You can actually redirect pleasure from clitoris to your breasts or to like the rest of the body and have like your whole body vibrate. It's all very, very possible. And then the mind shift happens, which is the third component, which is surrender, which all women are so yearning for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love what you just shared, the three key components to really take baby steps to explore our own body, right? Our current, especially in a business way of thinking, it's always been result oriented. And this is really prevent a lot of people, including myself in the past, from getting what really nourishes us. And it's within. So when we are thinking pleasure and orgasm as a goal-oriented task, that prevent us from getting our inner nourishment, and that will result in keeping reaching from the external materials, achievements, all the things to feed our emptiness inside. It doesn't mean all the achievements are bad. No, no, no. They're great. It really matters, where are we coming from, right? Are we coming from an empty place trying to fit in the void? Or we really nourished and acknowledge our body, have tons of self-love, and then go and do things that make us feel good and reach the goal. So that's a huge difference I have seen. Yeah.
Another thing that's awesome, and another thing I want to add, in order for a woman to actually reach these orgasmic states that are so potent and so nurturing and so ecstatic and unbelievably like it really does give you confidence. In order to reach that place, the attitude towards the orgasm is supposed to be like to anything else, like you are, you know, because we are, like you mentioned, we're so results driven. We have this attitude towards our bodies as like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not curvy enough, or like I don't look like that model that they show. And so similar attitude is towards an orgasm. Oh, my orgasm is not great enough. Like, and so you like you start like looking and searching for like this big O. But if you start from the very beginning, when you train your body to be orgasmic, to like, oh my God, my body is awesome, and my orgasms are mine, and they're amazing. Like, this is the mindset you have to have going into this body exploration, because orgasm is like anything else. It's a life experience. If you're gonna bash it and tell your orgasm you're fucking not good enough, you will never get there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. And on the contrary, that when we are capable of experience all the sensations and excitements and be able to detect how our body reacting to touch and pleasure and interaction, the self-confidence naturally boosts, naturally, because we have so much trust in our body, right? And also I want to throw something out there is on top of it, it's really a fun experiment. So different orgasms we mentioned, they actually feel differently in our body, and it's a lot of fun. It's like, for example, if it's a band, we used to only have two players. You just rotate between clitoral and vaginal, right? And now you have a lot more players and instrument. It's so much more fun,
Yeah.
correct? So, for example, the clitoral orgasm, as you just mentioned, is most commonly one experienced in female. It's very much like the male's ejaculative orgasm, ups and downs, and it can be feels it's a rush, like almost like, oh, so good, but then come down very quickly. It can feel empty afterward. But
Mhm.
vaginal orgasm more like a wave and go through, like wave into the body. Another one I will give example is cervical. Cervical is quite different. It's like a spiral, very strong spiral, ups and down, and directly connect your bottom, your lower part, and to the up and to the brain. So
Oof.
it's so much fun when someone can experience it.
Yeah, so cervical orgasms are actually, it's probably one of my favorites and maybe the most cosmic
Yes.
and spiritual and transcendent,
Mm-hmm.
where you feel when you experience those, like your whole body is actually very, in my experience, how I feel it, um, they're very connected to the heart. So I'm experiencing this sublime emotional, you know, everything, whatever
Yeah.
it is happening in this moment. And there's a lot of and then after that, I reach some higher spiritual realms where
Mm-hmm.
I start feeling and experiencing downloads of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
It's trippy. It's almost like you are on psychedelics,
Yeah,
uh
very much so.
on
Yeah.
mushrooms, because
Yeah.
this is and that's what it like, the inner nurturing of, like, our body is a big, really wise, temple or machine, whatever you may call it. And we naturally can experience all these mystical states
Mm-hmm.
if we allow ourselves to drop into that.
Absolutely.
And we
Yeah.
don't have to have all this like white sugary experiences. This is like induced by porn, or you take lots of drugs and then you have this mystical experience, or you drink
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, like, or you go and like to a swing party and have like a threesome or an orgy. Like, you don't have to have that. Like, you can experience that within your own body on your own without even a partner.
Yeah.
With a partner, it's more amplified, obviously, but on your own. And
Mm-hmm.
that is like the power where like a woman reaches a state. As I said, like, I was curious when I joined this journey of self-exploration and sexuality and healing my heart and all of it. My curiosity started was like, well, how I can be more, you know, centered and connected to
Yeah.
myself, and
Mm-hmm.
explore those vaginal orgasms. But then I reached the whole other world of things that I've never even imagined. And all it
Mm-hmm.
came through my exploration of sexuality, like the voice, the heart openness, the boundaries, the, like, knowing about my body, that my body is freaking sacred and wild at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
these are the benefits that all women can derive from, and all men, their partners, can help and facilitate them into. So, talking about how men can support their women to experience those orgasms, the most important thing: create safety for women
Mm-hmm.
to go there, to feel that pleasure. Not coming to me like a lot of men come to me and they say, I want to give my woman the best orgasm she could possibly have. I'm like, ego. No, there's no way you can give anything to your woman. She her body chooses to experience those. Your job is to know that and facilitate for the safety of her body to open, like, because, and all these belief systems is like, oh, sex is dangerous, sex with a partner is dangerous, I can't give up control with this man, it's dangerous. Like, she needs to know that you, man, are safe for her to really surrender. And if she does, whew, you will be like watching her for hours and hours and hours and hours, rolling through orgasms, and it nourishes you too, gazillion
Correct.
times.
That's the same. The energy actually goes mutual ways, goes both ways, right? And so it takes two to tango.
Yes.
Basically means a male get off the performance anxiety or takes the solo responsibility to make something happen, and takes female to take the responsibility to own their body, to connect with their pleasure and speak up what works, and also they co-create a safety container to reveal any magic, right? That's I always tell my clients, when you do that, when you allow that to happen, it almost always better than you can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a
Definitely.
couple of people here, and I'm also watching the time. I want to ask if anyone has questions.
Yes. People, what are your questions? We want to know. You've been here for a while, a lot of you. What are your burning questions? We'll try to answer them. If you have them, post them in the comments, please. Or just whatever, post something. Did you enjoy this conversation? Was it helpful? Did you learn something? Or you knew all of this?
Or
Yeah.
what do you like to hear more? As a following to this discussion, or something related to sexuality or intimacy. Yeah.
Yeah, because orgasms, we can dedicate actually 1 hour to each. Talk about each orgasm, or rather pleasurable zone of a woman that
It's a easily 1 day workshop.
yeah, for sure. And
Okay.
another thing I wanted to say, that from the scientific point of view, when it comes to orgasms, and you can actually, like, two really awesome books for both men and women to read that I absolutely love. One is called Vagina by Naomi Wolf, and another one is Women's Anatomy of Arousal by Sherry Weston.
Yeah.
Really great literature, very descriptive with pictures and everything, and lots of scientific data. So going to science, every woman is different because every woman has neuronal connections. There's like four main nerves that so the sacral, the pelvic, the pudendal, and the vagus. These are four main nerves that are activated or not in our bodies through clitoral orgasms, or clitoral pleasure rather. If you stimulate your clitoris without driving yourself to orgasm all the time, but being very consciously present and watching sensations and feeling them, you can actually help other orgasms to develop, other zones, erogenous zones, to open up more. And that is something we can maybe talk about next time.
Yes. Also often cite the four neural pathways that's related to different types of orgasm. And every female body is different. And also when they are on this cycle, the hormone changes, also the sensation in the body also change. So very first and foremost, don't make yourself wrong if you think you need to check all the boxes to reach all the types, at a certain amount of time. No. And we can definitely dedicate another talk to this. And so today, I would say for people who watch replay, please let us know what you resonate with, and if you have any follow-up questions or other topic suggestions. We would love to hear from you.
Yes, and this recording is going to be on Lady Jin's platform, and then it will be on mine too eventually. But please follow both of us. Ask us questions. We want to respond to you because we're kind of like far out there, and we sometimes forget what I was. I sometimes forget what I was 5 years ago. So I have to constantly remind myself. Because right now it's a norm for me to have full-bodied orgasms, energy orgasms. It's became my norm, and I want for everybody to have that as a norm because it's so freaking amazing. So yeah, ask us questions. Don't be shy. We normalize these topics. Well, hopefully
our passion is to share the knowledge and share modern sex education.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time.
Bye, Jean.
Bye.